on your video mode and mute yourself. I, re- I repeat to all the participants, requesting you to switch on the video mode.
Request everybody to kindly mute your audio so that the COVID-19 we teachers, we know we have taken extra efforts 24/7 more than the regular working days, not just to share the knowledge to our students, but also to inculcate and support them morally and emotionally. So this is the time we thought we need to motivate and inspire our teachers to make them stronger. And that time, the ICT Academy has shown us the light to enlighten all our teachers. That light is none other than the very famous mentor Visveshwaran sir. Thank you Visveshwaran sir for accepting our invitation and being with us as a source of light. So we all know teacher profession is a very noble profession, no doubt in that. A teacher inspires, and so our historical Dronacharya, who was inculcating many skills to his disciple Arjuna more than his own son Ashwadhama. And he also inspired Eklavya. He was an inspiring teacher, a virtual teacher. And we are also now, for the past 4 or 5 months, we are virtual teachers. Of course, we are all Dronacharyas, traveling into the digital world, spreading the knowledge and light to our students. I thank our management for supporting this event, especially our chairman sir. And the best example of a teacher and mentor is our Kumriya sir, who has been guiding us in every activity we do. I welcome all the participants who have come from various schools and colleges. Please enlighten during this event. And thank you one and all. Thanks to Visveshwaran sir for honoring us by your presence. Thank you. Be the light, spread the light.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your inspirational speech. Here I hand over the screen for a minute to Sri Malka Komaraya, sir, the chairman of Pallavi Group of Institutions, to address the participants. I welcome you, sir. Sir, you can unmute and speak, sir.
Hello.
Yes, you can hear us.
Is okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon. And today's event, our special guest, Mr. Vishweshwaran, is a most respected person in the education and a guru. All the engineering staff, teachers, and Pallavi group of teachers and DPS group teachers and all other colleges teachers. And today is the Parents' Day. And today we are going to give advice and motivational speech from famous Vishweshwaran sir. I don't want to take much time, but we are very grateful to Vishweshwaran and ICT to arrange this program. And Pallavi Engineering College is continuously doing so many webinars on different subjects. And today also, I think reasonably good participation is there. I wish this webinar will be a great success, and I request all the teachers and professors to listen to him and what are the best practices and advices, good ethics from him you can learn and implement, and then in turn you have to teach to our students community. And teaching job is a great noble profession. And Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan and the great Abdul Kalam, so many great professors are there. And their students now all over in India, world, everywhere our Indians occupy highest positions. Now I request all the teachers and professors to listen to him and then have a great impact. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful speech. Dr. Hepzibah Ma'am, EC, Head of the Department, please take space to introduce the today's speaker, Mr. K.N. Vishweshwaran. Sir, to participants, good afternoon, one and all. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce our chief guest of today's event, Mr. K.N. Vishweshwaran, ex-Varsity, Chennai. Ma'am, is it echoing?
A little bit echoing. I think everybody else should mute your audio. I request everybody to kindly mute your audio.
Good afternoon, one and all. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce our chief guest of today's event, Mr. K.N. Vishweshwaran, ex-Varsity, Chennai. Mr. K.N. Vishweshwaran is a veteran in the field of education with 42 years of teaching experience and 24 years of industry experience. He had won many oratorical and recitation contests during his studies in English and Tamil. From 1970 to 1977, he was a recipient of National Science Talent Scholarship for Mathematics. He also had a teaching and research stint at Purdue University, USA. He was mainly teaching mathematics to electrical engineering students at Purdue. He guided a final year BE project done by a batch of 4 students of Instrumentation and Control Engineering branch, which won the second prize at the state level in the year 1988. He has been in the IT industry ex-Avar for many years. He held several positions like Global Resource Manager, Global Training Manager, and Senior Member of the ex-Avar Campus Recruitment Team. Presently, he is the Chief Mentor, ex-Varsity. The trained by him hold middle and senior management level positions in IT industry across the globe. He is the most known for the X2X Better course. He has inaugurated and given keynote address at many national and international conferences. He had addressed more than 3.5 lakh students in various colleges across India. He also a receiver of a lifetime award in the field of mentoring by Assocham Bengaluru in March 2020. We all blessed to have such a wonderful, high-profile and most dynamic personality on this special occasion. Thank you, sir, for being with us. We all waiting for your valuable presentation. Before going further into the program, few gentle instructions for the participants. Please mute your screen. Any queries, kindly wait for the allotted time without interruptions to the speaker, or you can make use of the chat box. You can also give live streaming of the session in YouTube with the link shared in WhatsApp groups. In the last 30 minutes, we will share you the feedback link. Please kindly give your feedbacks, which is more valuable to us to enhance our programs. Now, I kindly request Mr. Vishweshwaran sir to take over the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Teacher from 1975, and I love teaching. As somebody said, teaching is a great. I have only 4 slides. I'll just go to the slide and describe what I wanted to. Are my slides visible? Hello? Is
Yes,
the
sir.
slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Visible, sir.
Yeah. So I went to a school which had the following motto. It's a very small school, and you won't even believe the fees they charge. It was around 5 rupees per. Sorry. Just a second, something went wrong. Yeah. It was 5 rupees per. I'm saying of 1957. The school motto was, "Let none like be another. Let each be like the highest." How can that be? Let each be perfect in himself. In that school, the basic philosophy was every child has a part, and it is the duty of the teachers to make it a play. Nowadays, the duty of the parent and the. This is similar to what Tagore says. The birth of every child signifies that God has not lost hope in humanity. Every child is born with a unique talent. It is for us to tap that talent, make it glow, make it into a flame. Make it into a flame. That is our duty. And the elementary school did exactly that. We had a interesting system in the elementary school. I think elementary school education is the most important. And the system there was really interesting. My class teacher, Mrs. Vatsala Madam, was my class teacher in LKG, UKG, and first standard. So there was a continuity in the learning of the children. By the time we were in LKG, first standard, she knew every one of us, what is our weakness, what is our strength, how to motivate us, what will motivate us, and in which areas are the improvement areas, all that she knew. Maybe you can try this model. I don't know whether you are following that model or not. This was a very interesting model my elementary school had. This class teacher also got promoted with her students from LKG to UKG to first standard. Again, they will start at LKG once more. And the teaching was totally experiential. You won't believe the way they taught the numbers. For example, if it is 5, the teacher will show the 5 fingers. I have 5 fingers. Then he shows something else which has 5. Then we had to take our slates or notebooks, go around the school and note down wherever we can find 5. That was a fantastic, and she knew the campus so much. After we come for 10 minutes, she would ask question, where did you find a 5? And that is the way we learned the number 5. So make your teaching experiential. And elementary education is where the child should get the values. What is right? What is wrong? What should I do? when I'm in a dilemma, the value system should be dinned into the ears of the children. We had, of course, I think most of you would have heard a 1 hour moral instruction class. We had it even in college. Unfortunately, we don't have that now. But maybe Pallavi group as a this thing can have a special session in every standard where the students are taught what is right. That is very, very important. The value system, I still follow the value system taught by my school. An interesting thing happened. I went to inaugurate a conference in Madras University, and my professors had come. The director of the university asked me to take my seat, but somehow I was still standing. And after 5 minutes, one of my professors said, what he followed in college, he's still following in front of us. So even as he's becoming a manager in a software industry, he is not able to. That is the force of a habit. The minute you have good habits, it will automatically be throughout the life. Next, who are the most difficult people to teach? The most difficult people to teach are in the age group 13 to 19. So you should take extra efforts to make sure that these people are trained in a very, very different way. My teacher used to say, even in numbers, the numbers 13 to 19 in English are different from all the numbers, how you count. See, after 20 or 30, it is 31, 32, 33 or 41, 42. But if you take the teams, it is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So even the nomenclature is different. So what happens, the body chemistry changes, people, they are becoming from men to from boys, women from girls. So this is a period where you should have the utmost patience to deal with them. Because the body chemistry will make them rebel against whatever you say. So they have to be, my teacher used to say, when he guided me how you should treat these people, he said, guide them as they are in a dynamite in a glass sphere. You cannot keep it down. It may explode. So you should always carry it and carefully. So give special care to these people. Nowadays, good counseling can be done. How to manage that period. Because it is very difficult for parents in a Indian culture to talk to people about what is happening to them at home. And the parents are not trained to that. I think the school should take that responsibility and make them feel what is happening is natural. They will undergo all this, but still, life is a very wrong thing. They should not rebel against everything. Asking questions is okay, dissenting is okay, but there is a limit to everything. So all this should be told in a very nice fashion. And I'm sure the senior teachers can do it, or you can appoint some senior counselors to do this problem, to solve this problem. So this teenage, please treat them differently and very, very carefully. And the next is, this is for true everywhere. Always give them only the to-do list. Make them busy with positive things so that they don't have time for negative things. My sister was a professor in a head of department in one of the central universities. She would always say, the don't list is infinite. For example, I just tell you, if you say, in class don't talk, they may start speaking in action. So if they do something else, they know how to beat it. So the only thing is keep them occupied in class so they won't do anything else. So the do list is the most important thing. What they have to do, don't even discuss about the don't list. My college professor used to say, if the principal puts a rule, don't throw stones at the college, they will throw paper balls. Because they will say, sir, you told only you should not throw stones. So have a do list. Be positive. Again, my sister used to say, tell students, if you study, you will pass. Don't say, if you don't study, you will fail. So always, in everything you do with them, have a very, very positive attitude. And then, even the do list, you should be different for different people. Everyone have their own character, just like a single medicine cannot cure all diseases. A single method will not work for the whole class. Of course, you have to devise a method which works for most of the people, but please empathize, treat them as an individual and help them grow. Like for example, once I gave a library management system as a homework in BE. After 2 days, 4 of them came and said, we don't know how a library works. I said, what is your interest? Just to teach me, they said movies. Okay. I said, you make a database of movies, you make a, what are the parameters in a movie, director, music director, songs, how many hours, how many reels. So sometimes you can fine tune your assignment or homework so as to interest the student. I have even given a BE project in 1990s. Those were the times the limited overseas was just coming. Now whatever you see on the screen nowadays, my students built because they were computer science students and their interest was in cricket. So I asked them to do a database and also a dashboard which will have cricket statistics. So fine tune your exam or assignment to fit the student. They will always again learn SQL or database or anything. But at the same time, they are doing something in which they are interested in. We are not forcing anything down their throat. Of course, this will involve a lot of time sacrifice from your side. But we teachers, we know that everybody is special. And I will tell you another lesson I learned from my elder sister. Once I came back from college and told third semester mechanical engineering students are useless. He said, why are you telling they are useless? Bad students. Then she asked me a very interesting question. Of course, this didn't happen exactly like this, but I am trying to make it into a story. She asked me a very interesting question, a very rhetorical question. Are you a good teacher? So if you ask a teacher, are you a good teacher? All our ego will suddenly say that, yeah, I'm a good teacher. Then she dropped an atomic bomb on me. She said, can a good doctor say the patient in bed number 12 is a bad patient? So like that, we should always think that all the students are good. I'm saying students. Sometimes there can be non-students, especially in the colleges. Insincere, not attentive. I'm not talking about that. That is very difficult to say. But the people, the students who try, we have to go the extra mile to improve them. As I said, if I am a good teacher, in my view, nobody is a bad student. One of the pluses I have, or the name I have as a professor or a mentor is, I can make ordinary people extraordinary. That requires lots of patience, sitting with them with hours. I'll just tell you an instance, which I did for nearly 5 years in a self-financing college in Coimbatore. I used to live 37 kilometers from the college. I went every day by college by the college bus. But suddenly I thought I should keep the computer lab open from 6 a.m. So the last 3 to 4 years, maybe 5, I don't remember, I used to start at 4:30 from my house, walk 10 kilometers, reach the Coimbatore bus stand, get into a bus, almost beg the driver and conductor to stop the bus near my college so that I can open the computer lab at 6 o'clock. If they stop the bus only at the stop, regular bus stop, I will have to walk another 15 minutes. But they help me, dropping me near the college. So that is, if you sacrifice, you will get returns up plenty. The minute the student feels that you are doing everything in his interest, their reception to your advice will be totally different. So first thing you have to do, especially with college students, is build a trust with them. We are doing things for your good. It is not like, I always say, hey, when you are earning that 2 lakhs per month or 5 lakhs per month, I am not going to be with you, or you are not going to be give me 1 rupee out of that 5 lakhs per month. So many of my students are vice presidents and presidents in US. They may be earning exactly what I'm saying, but they still correspond to me. Your strictness in the 4 years made us this. I had a Tamil teacher. He had a famous saying. At that time, most of us got into jobs after bachelor's. Of course, I did my post-graduation also. He will say, 4 years of disciplined life and 40 years of happiness. 4 years of maja or happiness or joy and 40 years of suffering. Which do you prefer? That is exactly I tell every engineering college students. 4 years of discipline, hard work, and limited happiness, and 40 years of unbounded happiness, or 4 years of happiness, maza, doing everything you want, and 40 years of unhappiness. It is your choice. Believe me, I have certainly a success rate of 80 to 90%. But I'm slightly different from all of you. I'm single, so I get the time to spend time with my students, even when I was teaching. Even now, I mentor around 40 to 50 people every month. Every week I call some of my old students. Yesterday I called a student whom graduated in engineering in 1988. I have a huge data bank of their phone numbers and things like that. You will see that if you go 1 meter near them, or promise that if they come 1 meter near you, you will go 100 meters near them, just like God does to us. You will see a total difference in their attitude. It is the attitude that is matters. So again, to repeat, elementary school, golden children of God, establish values. As a teenager, treat them very carefully. Rebel against the rule, it will be the common law. The system will, if you say something, if you don't do that, they will do. They will do that. That's why I said always give a do list and don't have a don't list. And in engineering college, it's a sort of course, we cannot go to the traditional fourth Samadhana Veda. We have to stop there. There's no danda allowed nowadays. So you have to be the first two steps, Sama and Dana, praise them, reprimand them in private, never punish anybody in public. Even if you want to scold them, take them to a room and talk to them. Never reprimand students in public. Everybody has an ego. The minute the ego is hurt, he is going to sort of behave differently. But praise in public, even a very small thing, praise in public, like somebody thinks of a different way of solving a problem, ask the class to applaud him. The happiness he gets when his classmates recognize his or her contribution, he'll be a totally different student. So what I will do is, see, we are now another 15 minutes we have. I can take some questions. Can we have any questions if you want to ask? Any questions?
I request the participants to raise the hand. Use the raise the hand symbol to raise your questions.
I kindly request all of our teachers to take this opportunity. Such a wonderful and experienced person we have now today. So please utilize the opportunity. Any doubts, please clarify your doubts. Otherwise, you put in chat box. We'll ready to answer for it. Thank you.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there's a good question. What is the modern development of first year BE? The very first thing you should, a first year student should know is what is to be an electrical engineer, what is to be a civil engineer, what is to be a mechanical engineer. So I would very much advise you on the orientation week, get some senior engineers, like even the chief engineer PWD or a senior engineer Telangana State Electricity Board, and or from a company, what is to be a mechanical engineer. Like for example, I always tell my civil engineering students, you are not going to have a cushy job because you will have to supervise laying of an asphalt road in the month of June or May. It will all be burning. So they should get to know what is to be an engineer first. How does an engineer, what is the 10 to 5, what does an engineer do? Like if you take mechanical, what is the shop floor? What is it to work in a steel mill? What is to work in an automobile factory? I think instead of the final year, have senior practitioners come to the first year and explain. I always did that. Sometimes I even called HODs from other colleges. See, as I always say, A child will not listen to the parent, but may listen to a neighbor. Like that, get HODs from other college or principal, and just say what is to be doing research, what is to guide up this thing. Because some of the students should take to teaching, right? So get practicing engineers to address the first year students. That will have a very great impact on them. Because they have no clue. Like, for example, the computer science student has no clue what is to work in a software company. Sometimes I have invited people, they will sit in my office from 9 to 5. They will know what I'm doing. What does a mentor in a MNC do every day? That will be a great way of learning. Let me take another question. There was an interesting question here. Yeah, how to motivate our student to excel? That is why I said, start recognizing even little bit things. I don't know, there are managements to people, professors, there is a Maslow's theory. The first is we want the material requirements every day. But the third step is public recognition. Like that, what is excelling, make a mark. Do something different in your project work. Then in the interview, you don't have to even open your mouth in your job interview. Show your project. Hey, this is the app I have built, what I have done. So motivate, like somebody referred to Kalam or something. There are excellent scientists, like if you want to motivate an electrical engineer, motivate him through Tesla, motivate him through Mackage Faraday. Without electromagnetism, there is no electrical engineering. So what is excellence? What is world class? Nowadays it is very easy. Have a nice setup. If you want, I will show my email ID also. I have a huge collection of links to YouTube. Like a civil engineer sees how an island is being generated in Dubai. He will get excited. Can I work like that? So motivated by showing success breeds success. We just say how Abdul Kalam is a boy from a small village became the president of India. A great scientist, and then become a... So give them success stories. Certainly, and I will certainly give you a list of students. I will also show my email ID and also phone call. I am ready to chat with you in phone, but fix an appointment early, 1 week early, okay? And sports is another way to excel. See, for example, how a Tendulkar or a Dhoni, why so many people? What is excelling in sports? The same thing. I'm not telling the marks. Okay, I will never emphasize on marks because there is another thing I wanted to tell. God gives us different times to peak. I always tell about the Tamil Nadu +2 result. Those who are getting 1192 out of 1200, 1195 out of 1200, end up as doctors in public health centers in Tamil Nadu. They don't do good things. But those who do are the 80s and between 80s and 90s, so God has given them one chance to peak. So they will not peak others. So always, there is nothing wrong if a student doesn't peak in his higher secondary course. Let him peak in his first job. Let him peak in... Always tell that. When somebody doesn't do well, expected, tell. God is going to give you a peak later on in life. Okay? Don't get dejected. Like, I will tell you, when I wanted to the scholarship application form from the college, the scholarship clerk asked, what do you get in higher secondary? I said, 445 out of 600. He said, even those who got 500 didn't get last year. I won't give you the application form. I went to my principal and said, how can one mark determine my life? I argued with them and got the scholarship form. Like that, getting marks, see, God gives us different time to peak. So please tell all your people who do, their first rank can be got only by one guy. Please remember that. All people cannot get you first rank. And believe me, I have seen a lot of people who didn't do very well in PE shining as CEOs. The sincere, hardworking person will get his time. Tell that to your students. Yeah, any other question? I see the chat.
Sir, can I read the question, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, in this COVID-19, what are the advice you are going to give for the teachers, sir? Please suggest the tips for teachers' career in times of COVID-19 and post-COVID-19.
Okay. See, this is going to be a challenge. Like, for example, teaching through web is very difficult, and lot of statutory bodies are going to put a lot of restrictions on how many. So I would say, in my opinion, a student should not be looking at the screen for a lecture for not more than 3 hours. But what you do is you pick up videos, short videos, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and you can do a tough problem, explain that, make a video yourself, and give it in a library in your college, and give access to students so he can learn at his own pace. Of course, you will have to make some small investments to get a good whiteboard. You yourself have to be the cameraman. But in the interest of, or the college itself can come out, help you with the infrastructure, and take a typical problem, like there are, I'm just giving an example in electrical engineering, why three-phase supply, where is it used? Don't teach the syllabus in these 10-minute duration videos. Do something extra, so the students can read from the syllabus and get this extra. This way, it will also be interesting. And post-COVID is going to be more difficult because I don't know the social distancing norms. This is again a very surprising thing that is going to happen. All the college management will have to have reduced number of people in the classrooms. So I will again suggest, if you are having a classroom, take the lecture the first time, take a video, the next batch, play the video, even in presence, and be a facilitator. Don't give the lecture again. You may have to teach in 2 batches. That's why I expect that will happen. Like, for example, a room holding 60 students, they may say you can have only 30 students. So, in percentage the class, as you did before, take a good video of that. For the next batch, play that video and be a facilitator. You can pass the video when somebody has a question. Because this way you don't have to teach. Maybe the classes will be on alternate days. So this is something I am proposing to do even with the trainees. The first time I teach, I will teach them with 12 people whom I can see. The next 12 batches, I'll play this video and pass wherever they want to ask a question. Because, tell you, teaching from home is very difficult. Like, for example, you see the screen behind me. Okay? A student may get distracted because you have a poster on the wall. Right? So a teacher has to be so careful on everything. because we had to, whatever we get 1 hour or something, we had to maximize. So you have a good backdrop. Like I put a tube light in front of me so that I'll be bright. So some small adjustments to your workplace home is also necessary. And usually don't use the background given by the software. Like if you take MS Teams, you can change its background. But what happens is, when you move your head, the machine learning or AI is slow, so your face will not be good to see. I think so. Those who have attended meetings in MS Team would realize this. So in COVID, have a list of YouTube and have 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos of simple problems. Like you're all experts in one, like for example, data structures or C or Java, typical tough problems. Make it into a 10-minute video and have it in a library in your college. The student must be able to access it whenever he wants. And another thing you can have is, instead of a regular this thing, announce let them have self-study and just say 10:30 to 11, data structures in C, doubts about pointers will be clear. Understand my point? Because teaching the whole thing is difficult. You will have a great challenge. So instead of that, have doubt clearing sessions. These are my thoughts as of now.
So please kindly answer for more questions.
Yeah, and I can give me some 15 minutes. I can send some sample videos.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, that is maybe a computer science student, somebody from computer science department can give me suggest some topics, in which I will try to make a video myself or by my colleague and send it to you.
So last question, sir.
Yeah.
If teacher taking insufficient or low salary every month, if he or she satisfies students wholeheartedly or not?
See, this is a very, very difficult thing to answer because I don't know what is happening in the academics. As I said, my case is different. This is a very, very difficult question. And in my opinion, the teachers must be paid very well. I know how low they were being paid when I was a student. I will give the example of my Professor K.S. Ramachandran. Professor K.S. Ramachandran. He was my guide in BSc and MSc. Because he was a guide for me in Science Talent, he used to get 100 rupees per month. In one of the meetings, he said, I get 20% of my salary because of situation. I was shocked. You won't believe, at that time, a lecturer was getting 468 rupees per month. And my professor, my guide, was getting 100 rupees per month because he was mentoring me. I would request the college, see, I don't know whether I can make this statement or not. I would always prefer high salary for teachers than marble floors in college buildings. Maybe it is out of scope, but this is mine. The teacher is like God. His or her needs must be met. This I am talking as a person, Vishweshwaran, and not representing Xavier. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
No, I think one of the things the management can do is pay the monthly broadband fees, give them good connections, because if they tie up with Jio or a ISP provider for 500 connections, you may get a very good rate for broadband. That is one of the suggestions I have. Like 600 students, 600 teachers, if you give broadband, and a single account, I think they'll certainly give a very good range for you.
Thank you for your valuable suggestion, sir. Never
And
stop learning.
I will share my, or I will send my, Professor Ipsiba knows my mail ID. You can share with them, and they can send queries through the mail also.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And anytime you want, not even ICT, anytime you want a half an hour, I can even take some classes how to teach, especially engineering mathematics, because see, what happens is there's a typical. This is what I was a brilliant MSc mathematics student, but when I went to US, my professor taught me how to teach mathematics to an engineer. The first test I gave, a circle of radius r. He said an engineer doesn't have a circle of radius r. A circle of radius 10 centimeters, 5 centimeters. A mathematician will have a circle of radius r. An engineer never has a circle of radius r. So I can take sessions on how to teach mathematics to engineers. So we'll talk about it later. Thank you very much for invitation. And Billy, you are in Telangana, so I will greet you the only way I know to greet in Telugu. Entaro Mahanubhavulu Antariki Vandanamu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Never stop learning because
Thank you,
life
sir.
never.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
Never
Okay, I
stop
have a next
learning.
meeting at 4:15, so I have to go. Okay, I have a meeting at 4:15.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you very
sir.
much.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I request Ms. Swapna ma'am, HOD CSC, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. First of all, I thank Vishweshwaran sir for his valuable speech and motivated us in this pandemic situation. And he gave guidance how to follow the tips for teaching the students very easily. I thank Komarai sir, Vice Chairman, Pallavi Group of Institutions, for organizing such a beautiful event for all the teachers. I thank Vice Principal ma'am, Dr. K. Nagajyoti ma'am, Pallavi Engineering College, for supporting us for conducting this particular event. I thank Epsiba ma'am, Satish sir, Vijay sir, Kavita ma'am, and all the team for this particular grand success. Finally, I thank all the participants from all the colleges, and thank you all.
Thank you, Swapna ma'am. And thank you all the participants for this memorable virtual gathering, which made this evening as grand community connect, and we wish all the best for the future endeavors. Thank you all. Take care in this pandemic situation. Hence, the session is closed. I request the participants to take the feedback form. I request the participants again to take the feedback form. Your feedback is more valuable for us. Once again, thank you all. Hence, the session is closed.
Dia gitu ఎంతసేపు ఇట్లా పడుకోవాలి నేనేం కష్టం అల్లం బెల్లం కాస్ ఆశిస్తాను నేను ఆశలు కాదు తీసుకురా చారి కాపీ మాట్లాడే
Bukan seperti kalau paling bukan bukan serta manusia. Itu gigi adalah kan.
Kamu keras dan yang mau aku.
Iwan dat tanda sudah.
నాకు వెళ్ళి ఫోన్ ఏంటంటే ఎక్కువ ఫోన్ ఏంటంటే ఒక ఫోన్ అయినా కాదు మెసేజ్ ఇచ్చాను అయితే మీకు వస్తుంది
Sudah mana itu sih? Cari kan cara udah dari lalu.
Tak pernah nih ya guys,
Pada betul gak ya? Cara udah dari kecil kecil.
Message nih kita yang play di sana.